Hello, this is Gerald van Was. I already told many times before that every letter has a specific position or orientation, and from there we can build up the word, and the words are actually expressing themselves in form and content because of its position. There's a whole system, a structure behind it, and you also can build it up with me. I didn't give you much opportunities, but in this case, let's build up the word tunnel together based upon what I will give you from the structure that exists underneath. Every letter can have a position in space, can have a position in timing, and can have a position in a space-time context. Let's not make a too difficult word. Let's have tunnel, which is just based upon the two first categories. This category is about orientations in space, orientations in time, and that's all. So that should be easy to build it up from there. So we only need letters from these two categories. But I will help you, of course, to focus upon them, and I will give you beforehand what you need, and then I will give you a small amount of time to figure out what it can be in a drawing, and from that drawing we will build up the word. If you can't see it how it is building up yet, it will be very clear in the last image. So here you have the timed process, which are basically directions, and the focus upon matter, which are basically points of references, of localizations of where are we somewhere in the physical space. And we could also, it is kind of 1, 2, 3 options always. You have the option, the first option or the first series is always about the foundations in space, the foundations, let's say, the orientations where you start from. They are somewhat in the middle, followed by what is around it, where the material is, and what is at the edges, at the borders. That's category number 3. So it's always these 1, 2, 3 categories. You have them in space, but you also have them in timing. Timing is relative because it's actually a bit like saying, okay, let's focus away from matter. We have stagnant matter, but you also want to show and see and follow the processes that are going on. And the more we follow them, the more we also need an extra going away from space. So you have these extra dimensions that you add to it, that your focus is going away in a direction, plus 1 direction, plus 2 directions, or plus 3 directions, or in a way, a 3-dimensional vision of going away directions. That's how you have to measure them in time. So it's like a way out. So you press actually your vision outside. It's another way to see these extensions. The way you can see these extensions there give you already a very good view of its orientation, of its balance, and so on. You can go back to it and think about these points differently. Okay, let's not make it too difficult. You have already some idea. So we will start from T. The letter T is from the first category. It's about placements in space. It's a second category. It's a second degree of the first level. So it is in 1 dimension, in 1 point, but it's a bit up. So where shall we find it? It also should be in 1 point. So where is it? Okay, you could, if you were correct, you knew that the category was number 1. It was a bit up. It was in a point. So you could actually then find that point of your orientation. It's all about orientations. Where is my orientations? It's slightly up from the center. So there it is, as a point. What shall I do, of what is best to do? Because it's about placements. I place my orientation where I start from. I also add my references there as a sort of clarification of my placement in space, space. Best that you do that. You will then you will immediately know what to focus upon. Okay, the next category, the U, will be the second level of space. Now, what the first three letters were about starting points, all in the category number 1 in the middle, and you try to figure out a certain point. You start in A, very much in the middle with a very certain point. T is a bit relative. Yeah, it's not perfectly in the middle, but you say, okay, I can keep myself somewhat in the middle. So it is a bit a relative position. It's a kind of compromise actually as well, to see a bit more clear. So where is it really and where do we have it? That's the kind of attitude that you have there. While K is breaking away from the middle, and there it is your first uncertainty. That means also that the second level with U, L and B, which are in the material, also deal with a certain amount of uncertainty. But you try to continue, where you actually try to keep your starting points in A, T and K. You lose it already. You refocus a little bit in U, L and B, and then you start to see like but what can I see then as around? It's no longer perfectly in the middle, but I want to continue to keep that as a center. So U is actually also that half truth actually, that it's no longer perfectly in the middle, but you can keep it centered. So U is that keeping it centered. You can keep it with a certain certainty, but a relative certainty that it is no longer in the middle, but you can follow it and you're already following not the middle point, you're following actually something of the material. So your focus went away and you refocus on that point, and that is your material that you're going to focus upon. But something that you see that is a bit different. So it is only a part that you can follow. It's not like I am completely centered. No, I'm no longer centered, but I follow something that I can still use as a center. That's the kind of attitude in you. And you see these forms also. You, so you have only a part that is following as a foundation, L as a formation, and B as a border. But we are talking about the U. So the U is that half full foundation. Let's say it's no longer a full foundation like in A, it's half full, because we only follow half of our half of a center, let's say also. Just the part that we are most certain about. It can still fill in, hopefully, so that we can keep on following it. It's that half full foundation, so you can see it, and it is easily associated with the hollowness as well, just because of the same reasons of that kind of focus. So you have this hollow foundation now. Next one, the letter N. So you see I have these three categories. So the category of starting points, material, limits. Here it is about the vertical. It's about material. In the vertical, I didn't give you much time for the last letter, but here you have where shall I put my vertical direction, because here the directions are much more important, not the points. Here are the directions. So I should have a direction. The second category is all about directions. It's a starting point in the first category, so in matter, actually also in space. So we will start from space. Well, I will follow the material. I'll follow the direction. I follow a direction in the category of material where it goes up. So, but first, before we can do that, it is about the category of timing. I almost forgot it. It's the category of timing. So that means we also have to add the timing. Timing is always like you don't have it immediately. When do you follow directions? Not just when you want to go away from matter and do something more from it. That's what you can do. But the reality will be that there will be changes happening. Those changes will happen at a certain time, even with D and Y. You don't know yet where they will go to. It's just one step towards a timing process. There will be there. The timing will be there. The time leads will be the lead of this category. While the first 9 letters were about a category in space, they have one stable focus point and all of it will be around it. But all the next 9 letters will be around timing, so they will be about a start and beginning. So I will have my full focus up a little bit, even if +1 is just only a little bit up, it will deal with that timing. In O, E, and Z and W, you will sense the timing completely. And of course, you will have the results of that timing in G, F, and P. But here we have an N, so we're going away from space. We move something away from space. We change something in space. We relate it with the time process. We're not dealing completely with all the results and so on. No, we're dealing that something changed. We will lead to it, and this change was and is performed in a time process. That we are sure about. So the N, you probably had it already imagined where it should be, vertical, starting from space, starting to try to get away from space. And meeting now also the time process. It goes towards a time process. So from matter, this is an expression that something is different in this matter. What do we know already? What was different? On the second category, we know already something is different because this matter was hollow. It was not complete. So of course because at some time it should be completed again. But when you emphasize that what is really different in space, in matter and so on, this hollowness is different. That's the difference. That's what is changed compared to A, for instance, which is full. U is hollow. So something came out, something of the material was left out to get to that situation. And when you have the double N, it's really focusing completely on all the material that has been left out, all the material that has been lifted out vertically or had been taken out at a certain time. Or dug out, you could even say, when you are talking about a tunnel. You should already know and sense that, we're already going towards that direction. But this after that says, okay, but we have a certain length of time. This time it's sure we follow that time, we follow the whole thing, we follow that certain length of time or durance. So it had a certain time. So it took a certain time to dig out a tunnel as well. This material that has been lifted out over a whole period of time and a whole length of time also. It ends with as the letter E, not just following the time. It also ends with that realization that, it has that timing of its own. That's that highlighting aspect of E as well. It has a timing of its own. So it took its time. That's another way to say it. It took its time to dig out all the material in this hollowness. So you have, of course, now this realization that we have a lot of material that has been taken out over a certain time and during a certain timed process. Last letter, what shall it be? It will be the L. The L, what is that? Is back into the category of the physicality. So it will emphasize the physicality. It will conclude its word also with physicality. So it will be about something physical. The second category is what did change. So you have to look up what did change. What was really the change? What is the form in the end result of how it changed. That is what we're going to focus upon. And that's what we will end with, this physical expression of what changed. It was not the only letter with something physical, also U was physical. So let's look again at the U. There we already had that hollowness, which was also physical. We have to end with that physicality. So of course this first physicality where we started from should be clear, and all these things that happened in physicality, just like the material that was taken out, should be clear. The whole concept of this word, which ends with L, should express the physicality. So how shall we express this whole thing? Without the helping frames, we already have the elements, the separate elements. And what are the separate elements? We started from a placement in T, which is hollow physically, or U, where some material was taken out or dug out, and also completely, with the double N, really completely in its complete full, in all of its dimensions of its 2 dimensions, let's say, it's full, it's all of its material over a certain amount of time. So of course with a certainty that it's also done completely. This has taken shape and is expressed physically into a form in the end. So how shall we express it? It should actually not be too difficult. Here are the letters recognizable. So you start from T, that position in space where you see I recognize something that is different. This difference has a hollowness where the material has been taken out at some time, taken out again and then again. So really all the material has been taken out also over a certain time with E, and then in the end you will see what comes forth from it, what comes out of it, or how you can see what this means, and that is of course the tunnel in the end. So I hope this was a clear expression. Thanks again for watching. This was Gerard van soundinform.com with the previous videos. There are some books to prepare you. There's a Facebook page to keep you informed, and you can subscribe to this YouTube channel as well if you like. Thanks again for watching. Bye.